2 on the bike.
Joey Logano will change lanes, go to driver's right.
Inside lane, not as organized right now. A couple of corners between each of those 4 or 5 cars on the bottom. Here comes the outside lane.
Inside lane again gets a surge down there. And still out there, less fuel. What's the strategy and the thinking in the Kyle Busch pit?
It's a deal right on top. Kyle, he said, yeah, we're going to be all secrets with the fuel, but if we get caution, we have this very first pit box that we're in the pole position, and a little bit of extra time that we need to take off all the car fuel, and we come up with this pit box. So that's the strategy, that's the plan to jump in and leave Kyle Busch out of the racetrack.
The leader coming in at turn number 4 is John Hunter Nemechek down to the bottom of the racetrack. Also, Joey Logano, who had been leading, is leading the outside line, but it seems like they're almost on the inside.
Second group, advantage to Logano. As a matter of fact, he'll not only take back third place, he'll left for second.
Keselowski trains out of that runner-up spot for now as they make their way off of turn number 2 there. And chasing John Hunter Nemechek. Keselowski took the line.
Keselowski side by side for second, side by side for fourth. Josh Berry and Kyle Busch. Ty Dillon completes the top 5.
They all come down off the bottom of the racetrack. Everything settles down towards the
so far, John Hunter Nemechek.
Laps about to go all aboard the Daytona 500. That will give us 47.
inside lane, challenging for second. He wants more on the back straightaway.
Established the lead, established his car, established the strength here. With about 100, doing it again. Outside roll on that shot, comes off forward. And how about Brad Keselowski? Heard the Motor Racing Network, the World
That's a driver inside row, second position. Was a former teammate to Joey Logano in that 22 car. Joey Logano's a happy dad, baby dad, husband outside the race car. He put him inside the race car. He puts a helmet on. He just talks really aggressive. The best drivers in NASCAR Cup Series history leads the outside lane below him. The 42, John Hunter, second generation driver who has never won at this level. But boy, he has certainly put it to the test here today in that 42 out front.
Daytona 500. He was 5 miles from near victory. Chances to win that day. Daytona escaped and emerged as a victor. Against that, he knows that he knows how to be there. Even at the end is another game. Across the finish line will be something to accomplish. It has to come down to execution. Right now, John Hunter Nemechek leading the inside line once again. In that Dollar Tree, number 42,
Daytona International Speedway. The field almost a turn two.
And they are 2 by 2 inches apart for the lead. On the outside lane, Joey Logano trying to make a run.
inside lane, the Ford Mustang of Joey Logano leading the outside lane, 20 rows deep.
Off of turn number 4, they stayed a lot of time here.
Daytona completing. Get another lap here.
Joey Logano ducks to the bottom of the racetrack, jumps off the nose of John Hunter Nemechek going into turn 1.
Give him a little bit more room over Casey Mears in that 66, who's trying to reach 500 Cup Series starts. He'll add another one here today. Here he comes down the back straightaway. Casey Mears will keep it right up on the outside wall. We're sleeping. We're falling down to that double up lane, bypassing to the inside of turn 3.
Logano got out turn 4 years ago through down the backstretch. Here's his 495th Cup Series start here today.
Let's go back to the Motor Racing Network. Mentioned a couple of laps ago here. Contains everybody else that runs on the racetrack. You know what? When you look back and forth at what's been going on here early on, we had the excitement of the start of the race. Things begin to settle down, and then we have the crash that wadded up a couple of cars. But for the most part, everybody's got their cars back together and are continuing on. So now you credit points to Byron's team, Justin Allgaier's team, and others to get those cars back on the outside.
Everybody is exercising a great deal of patience. We've not seen a lot of aggressive bumping and drafting and slam drafting and whatnot. We have everybody just chugging up the outside lane. David, he's got drafting help.
9 to 5 for the defending NASCAR Cup Series champion. Now she Ryan Gisbergen's going to jump out of line, coming in front of Chase Elliott. They'll begin that three-wide charge on the outside.
Just outside of the top 10, Shane Van Gisbergen, the first car left wing to the inside, set for left, gets it for long.
Starting in the NC, running behind Joey Logano, and John Hunter Nemechek as the third lane has now formed up against the wall, being led by Chase Briscoe.
Cars three wide on the high banks of Daytona. Here they come. The outside.
Nemechek falling back about a car length or two on that extreme low line, but he's going to try and battle back here. Chase Briscoe frag rides the outside, free wide line.
He's highlighted himself now out in front of the field. Joey Logano to the bottom, Kenny White racing forward back just to the top 10.
In the middle right now with Christopher Bell and Austin Dillon. They're running around the fifth spot. The battle for the lead, though, double line. Joey Logano and Chase. First three-wide battle contains Kyle Busch in the middle lane of the racetrack.
Field works their way off turn two. It's for the Daytona Super Stretch.
Another trash trap to the left from Christopher Bell in the inside lane. Now Joey Logano swinging to the inside.
Another new player inside the top five is the machine of Ty Gibbs. He is second in line in that third lane, following the leader, Chase Briscoe. Briscoe brings him back off the corner now as one car will dart way to the inside. Surface, but it was a hold your breath moment for Brent Keselowski. He had to jump out of line. He's back on the racetrack in the 15th position.
I think you can want to happen here on NASCAR TV. Watch Brad Keselowski. It's Kyle Busch who's make contact with Keselowski. Great job of
Brad Keselowski after he went by for the trial where you could see a little of the smoke on that right front wheel well, and also the Goodyear Racing Eagle lettering scrubbed off that. And also the bumps over at that end of the racetrack.
Big time. That'll be the focal point. Not only is that the area that they're racing on nearly 200 miles per hour, after you have the ball down and get clearance and get preparation to come in and roll at 55 miles an hour. Tell them after things are shaking up a bit. He sets that tone. Now it's Briscoe's turn at the point, and the basketball shots for the team.
This is a guy who's a local racing ace. He is not somebody who you expect to run well in the ovals, but he is changing that here this year. The number 97 from Auckland, New Zealand, Shane Van Gisbergen came to Chicago a couple years ago, and his first start won the Cup Series car on the streets of Chicago. Now he's inside the top five of the Porsche days in
Chase Briscoe leaves his Joe Gibbons Racing teammate Toyota of Ty Gibbs out to dry on the high side. He ducks down to the bottom. Now both him and Logano will rejoin him
Now he's at the point again. We talk about using more fuel, but Briscoe's done such a good job getting racing time right now. He's got the lead and change lanes in the bottom now open turn number 2.
Shuffling continues farther back in the pack. They're back to three-wide racing down the Daytona Super Stretch. Chase Briscoe in the race lead. He's got a new
here in Daytona. Can't pass beneath that.
Expected some more to continue on here in this hectic pace. In position. MEG's operation going on right now. Spotters on top of the roof, trying to get their driver's position to the inside, but then laps are coming to pit road. 3 wide continues for 7. Oh my goodness, this is exciting.
Spotters very active on top of the roof right now. Just kind of lining up the stars in line so they can pit with their teammates or manufacturer. The same manufacturer will come down pit road together. So the Chevys, Toyotas, and Fords can all go out together as they are 3 wide again off turn 4.
We saw that incident with Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski off to the before when everything was
Racing their way to the high banks of Daytona. Now number 42, Lee Petty runs the finish line. Chase Briscoe trying to earn his first Daytona 500 victory. Setting the tone now. This one can get right ahead down the backstretch.
This is where the push is getting a little dicey. One wrong shot in the wrong place with the racetrack or race car can send that driver spinning, and that is what would start the big one. Something that we see time and time again here at the World Center of Racing.
It's disastrous here in Daytona. It's early on, still 43 laps in. They've got to get
They made up 3 complete rows and 1 lap row is 2.5 mile long. 45 to the right, being led. Again, leading from the middle. Tight for the middle. Out to George Network. The push is coming. That was 7 racetrack. Racing hell for 6th.
It's something that is just so fun to watch here at Daytona, Joe. The runs that each line gets 1 lap, the car could be waiting on the inside.
trying to make his name in a win here in NASCAR. Hasn't been able to do it yet. He's a champion in the World Series and World Series. He leads an extreme outside lane. He will shuffle Joey Logano on the line. He's not charging on the outside lane.
Logano trying to find position. First to the team. Comes to the center now. Look at that. They fix his lead up there. Really close quarters of turn 3.
They are now 3 wide, 4 second. Chase Briscoe, as Jim mentioned, he is picking what lane he feels is best for him. This time he covers all 3. Takes it to the
Inches apart, going for glory, and NASCAR Super Bowl as they race back for turn 1.
Brad Case, guess who's in the middle? Oh, now 3 wide for 3rd. It's Brad Keselowski to catch go forward.
Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano, former teammates at Team Penske, longtime teammates at Team Penske. Joe, they have experience working together at racetracks like Daytona and
Behind him, he has a car that has been charging to the front of the field. His teammate Ty Gibbs, and there is Shane Van Gisbergen in the number 97. They continue to make noise. 1, 2, 3 in the top lane.
Give a nod to that. 3 number 40, red orange, number 2, number 40, Justin and Junior Motorsports.
great look inside the car of Joey Logano as he makes his way around this 2.5-mile
Outside, NASCAR's most popular driver, 4th in line in the outside. Keselowski on the bottom. Yellow 22 for Logano. Draws up alongside Shane Van Gisbergen for third.
Take note, Ryan Byron, our defending race winner, is in the mix again. In the first incident, under a first caution, he's rolling strong. In car number 24, the Exalted Chevrolet.
And Joe, right there's a perfect example of how runs work here at Daytona. Just for
Disconnected, so important. It sounds like why would you want to get so far ahead? Well, if you get too far ahead, the car behind you can use all that draft to catch up with you. They'll get rolling a couple of miles per hour faster, and they'll go by you right there standing still. So you have to manage that gap to your back bumper. You want to run the car lane, maybe 2 miles to the car behind you. Otherwise, that second place car gets an advantage.
That doesn't put dragging the brake at full speed. Right foot down on the mat, left foot dragging the brake to get that gap.
It really is another art form that you have to protect here at Daytona that can really hurt your race or even ruin it in some speeding penalty, and much like we saw with Casey Mears doing during his duel on Thursday, you can lock up the brakes and go for a
And what cars in competition are running around them? Some cars work better together. Those spotters at the top of the tower here at the World Center of Racing, they are working on the
extreme outside line. Jim, they were both in goal number 2, and both of those cars were the class of that field with Chase Elliott going number 1 victory lane.
America 254 in the racing with 60 laps of race. Let's see how they shake it up and shake it out. Pit stops will be crazy to watch because on the green it's going to be a lot to watch. Very much intense. Intensity forming here. Try to get those lines just right. Here they come.
With about 2 seconds of Sunoco racing flow for that historic Woodwarders, number 21.
That 5 group of cars that just left pit lane are working into turn
The intensity ratchets up here now within 14 laps to go in stage 1, the first of 3 segments in our Daytona 500 here today. Why is it so intense? Because when you get to the end of the stage, championship points are awarded. There's always something to race for, and they are starting to intensify those pushes for aggressive on the stage.
Those top 16 placements to go for the championship. Up for turn number 4. Let's see if anybody thinks about pit road this time. The answer is no. What a great run here.
a shot at the race lead.
Third car in line is Denny Hamlin. He drives number 11. He's a three-time champion. One of the best in super speedway racing.
Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott, and Denny Hamlin now up to the third spot this time. NASCAR comes in original, pepper, teriyaki, and so many more flavors. All made with 100% beef. Grab your favorite from the snacker aisle today. Steve Post.
A lot of fun watching John Hunter do the jet crawl at the front of the field. He works the corners really good, especially on the inside line. He's going to go to the 45 by the crease on the right, so control from the field from the 36.
Who's had a nice day so far in his Toyota. They told him to save a lot of fuel early, gave him the green light to start to push the pace. Doing a nice job here. No major complaints after a little bit of damage on that flat incident. Brad Gilly.
Joey Logano's been saving as much fuel as he can, but they've been running out front. It sounds like Paul Wolf is going to beat him before the end of this stage. We're turning to another lap, trying to flip something. Ross Chastain was brought down coming up on the crutch of Brandon McSwain. Right before he went back to Green before the first
Some quick splashes of fuel here, Todd. I'm certainly not a crew chief. You have been, and what a championship. It's a golden opportunity for a couple of these teams to go ahead and pack it up.
Somebody might have
Dave Smith leading a single-car freight train off the line through turns 1 and 2. Smith
Line that contains about 12 cars that have yet to pit.
teammates right on his back bumper. Austin Cindric and Ryan Blaney for the moment will continue to follow in his tire race.
When they step out line, challenging.
Ryan Blaney trying to get the run to the bottom of the racetrack, but it's not there. Sam Smith will lead and win the opening stage tonight. P1 with Austin Cindric in second. Here are the rest of the top 10 finishers in the stage, presented by the Powerball.
Now Denny Hamlin is up alongside Ryan Blaney for the second spot as that inside lane tries to advance, but there's only 7 cars to the bottom. Everybody else
Racetrack include Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Bell, Bowman, Cody Ware, and Chase Elliott. Team Penske leading the way right now in the Daytona 500. Austin Cindric.
To the outside.
Wallace pulling it right on the side here.
He is Bubba Wallace, but slips just a bit off turn number 4, the outside lane. It's a leads the Daytona 500 on lap number 75.
Into turn number 1. He's got a lead of about a car length. With the sideline second is take the second spot away from Simmer. He wants the lead from the wall.
Toyotas make up the front row. Bubba Wallace to the inside. Denny Hamlin to the outside. Everybody strapped up behind him as they enter turn number 3.
Arriving deep behind the Bubba Wallace car. Christopher Bell was behind Tyler a moment ago. However, Bell has jumped up to the outside. Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace have flexed here at Daytona in the past.
Bubba Wallace has been so close so many times here at Daytona in the last few years, and he's close again right now.
They'll always run well here on the super speedways at Daytona and Talladega. They're up for again. Here comes Bubba Wallace. Giving a bit of a push to Tyler.
Wallace is alongside Denny Hamlin. However, Hamlin has been getting some nice drifting assistance behind him, courtesy of the Ford Mustang of Austin Center.
Start with Bubba Wallace, that beautiful purple Xfinity Toyota. Sweep that again and try to go for the lead on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Bubba Wallace, bottom side of the racetrack. Austin Center, top side. They will go side by side into turns number 1 and 2. Racing. He's got a teammate right behind him. Wallace leading the inside lane now. Number 23, he's got his boss, the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, who co-owns that 23 and 45 to the bottom with Michael Jordan. They run side by side for the race lead in turn 3.
2 Daytona 500 champions on the outside line. The number 11 of Denny Hamlin and the number 2 of Austin Cindric, winning as a full-fledged rookie his first season in the number 2
That'll keep you on the edge of your seat. We saw what happened when they went 3 wide at stage 1 in the middle lane. Is Christopher Bell. He's got his teammate right behind him, the orange number 19. Started at the front row. Back inside the top 10.
Right in the middle there, the yellow nose and the green exterior on the backside. Splitting paint schemes, splitting sponsorships have long been involved here in
Is very important as they work off the corners here. You will see the drivers get as close as they possibly can to the side of the car beside them.
3 wide for the race lead, and the car on the bottom is a 51.
Racing in the upper group before they switch to Chevrolet. It's a single car effort now. Leading the field up for turn number 4. The rush is on. 3 wide and rush hour traffic down the first
He led at the line, still 3 wide in turn 1.
Get your cameras out. What a show they are putting on here in stage 2 of the Daytona 500. Cody Ware, the 51, leading the way down the back straightaway. Defending series champion Kyle Larson sits there on the white and blue number 5. And here comes on the race lead. Ross Chastain scampers out ahead. Now it leaves him 3 wide for second. Justin Allgaier on the bottom of the 3. Middle lane is Corey Ware. Way out top, the extreme outside lane is Morales in the 23. And Ross Chastain
side by side. 3 wide middle is continually swapped over the radios here to these teams. Close quarters racing with the best drivers in the world.
Gentlemen, it was lap 6.
darting inside, darting outside, whatever Ross Chastain has to do to maintain the lead here in Daytona. Feel the thunder of 3 wide NASCAR Cup Series racing here in the World Center of Racing. This is the Daytona 500. This is what dreams are made of. And Ross Chastain with help from Morales lead the way down the back straightaway.
In they come off turn 4. Justin Allgaier, a surge.
Since we lost Dale Earnhardt and Justin Allgaier in the 40 car, leading in a car owned by Dale Jr., the Earnhardts and his sister Kelly in the Great American Race. Now 40 to the bottom lane of the racetrack. Justin Allgaier leads the charge down the back straightaway.
Great effort there. He's got Connor Zilch and 12 behind them with number 2, Ty Dillon. 3 Chevrolets now trying to make a way out of the field. Just shaking my head at the pure talent of Connor Zilch, able to do what not too many teenagers can do. He won in Rolex timepiece in the first ever run he had the once before. In class victory 2 years ago at age 17. Here in Daytona, just like he's done for 20 years. He gave 19 years of age in the first lap. He was the leader inside that 88.
Connor Zilch wants to lead a lap in the Great American Race, but Ty Dillon has other thoughts. Dillon, he will jump to the top spot and jump.
Hard to imagine that more cars were not collected in that when Zilch came across the start-finish line going backwards. It was the 34 car of Todd Gilliland, I think, that got a hold of the 88 for Connor Zilch, who sits paused in the infield grass, spinning out of the second position. The rookie is now paused here in the ball field in the Daytona 500.
Ty Dillon, that inside move might have surprised the youngster, but more importantly, coming off of turn 4, it was a pinball match. Singled out Kyle Larson at 13 on the bottom as he tries to propel it back to the side lanes over the front half, dropping from Kyle Busch. Courtesy of Kyle Busch. Larson now even with Ross Chastain. Chastain to the outside. Larson is Kyle Larson, that HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. Outside, continue
place later. Hamlin is still
As they stay that way, coming down the short straightaway, back to the straight.
Chastain and Hamlin have not always been the best of on-track buddies, but they're working well together right now. Here comes Austin Cindric. He's going to bust out of line. Goes the final on Denny Hamlin.
That's a great run off of turn number 2 as Austin Cindric can be challenged to be Hamlin for the second spot. Cindric in turn, he's got help from Chris Buescher.
inside lane has got a run. Austin Cindric now pulls out to the lane. Chris Buescher trying to follow Cindric through on the bottom of the racetrack. Austin Cindric opens up the inside lane coming off the end of the Daytona Superstar.
Green line to the outside. James Smith around Denny Hamlin. Around Austin Cindric. In the battle for the number 3 spot. Now he loses some momentum. Here comes Cindric down off the lead.
3 wide from second on back as they do spectacular racing here up to that straightaway. Behind racing across Chastain.
Chris Buescher in his orange and flying forward to the inside of the racetrack against the double yellow line. Directly behind Buescher is Ryan Blaney. They're trying to
They are 3 wide from multiple rows behind.
Front 3 at least for the moment. Able to get away, but it's not going to last. Here comes Cindric again. He dives back to the bottom of the racetrack. Drafting help on his back bumper from Chris Buescher. Cindric goes to the lead.
Zane Smith continues to lead the 3rd lane. Highest on the racetrack. He's driving up from Brad Keselowski and Corey Heim. And that's where Ross Chastain goes. Throws the back transition.
Chastain goes up to the outside, that 3rd lane, and indeed blocks Zane Smith. Now Chastain decides to move back down to the middle lane.
Good
Side-by-side battle there. Here comes Chris Buescher.
He's got Chris Buescher right on his back bumper. Ryan Blaney just another car lane back as they run the middle lane. Right behind them, Denny Hamlin in the middle of a 3-line family.
Fords beginning to find each other at the front of the field as they make their way up the back straightaway. 3 wide from 4-5 back. It's
Chastain shot out of the kid after a nice push in his rearview mirror, courtesy of Zane Smith. Cindric goes up and blocks Chastain. Now he moves down to the middle and blocks.
Now Austin Cindric is doing all he can right now to block after
Under Austin Cindric doing the best he can to run all 3 lanes with a single race car. For the moment, at least, it's going to work. They are 3 wide behind him. Over to Shane Van Gisbergen.
Shane Van Gisbergen leads the inside lane as Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch.
Chris Chastain with a nice move to get around Austin Cindric in the middle, but here comes Shane Van Gisbergen.
Trackhouse Racing 1 and 2.
Now, if he's been working, it is working. Shane Van Gisbergen wheel to wheel with his teammate. Off turn number 2, Ross Chastain.
Ross Chastain to the outside. Shane Van Gisbergen to the bottom. Looking for the lead there. Maybe talking about 500.
Austin Cindric was there. Ross Chastain once again moved up to block Cindric. And Chastain goes down to the middle. Rides right in front of Chris Buescher.
Cindric is on the outside lane. Cedric fourth. Ryan Blaney fifth. Zane Smith is sixth. Kyle Larson goes seventh. And Denny Hamlin eighth. Ninth is Brad Keselowski. 10th is Kyle Busch.
Justin Allgaier, he violates a lap 5 crash. He's 11th right now. Corey Hyman 12th. Bubba Wallace is 13th. Riley Herbst is 14th. And Cole Custer is 15th. Ty Gibbs is 16th. Chase Elliott is 17th. William Byron 18th. John
Josh Berry is 26th. Eric Jones 27th. Daniel Suarez is 28th. Ty Dillon 29th. Was leading the race and he was blocking all lanes. His teammate Shane Van
Rocketing out of nowhere, he found some open real estate up the middle in a 3-line move. He's going all the way to the number 3.
Racing all the way through the back here of the Daytona 500. It's still Shane Van Gisbergen and Kyle Larson side by side, wheel to wheel.
side by side again for the top spot here at Daytona International Speedway.
come down to the line. 26 to go here in stage number 2 of the Daytona 500. Motor Racing Network live at the World Center of Racing, the Daytona International Speedway for the 66th or 500. Lead in the hands of Kyle Busch right now with Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney.
2650s right now around here. These guys are not saying filling up. I mean, this is when you see this place go from 3 lanes back to 2. Because the third lane, really, the bottom lane really has a hard time to develop. The second lane is still
Coach Todd saying we're running 46.50s. That means the leader running 46.5.
Everybody doing what they like to do best, going to the whip and running wide open around this 2.5 miles based on the interaction.
But nobody's stepping out of line with the exception of practice. That's the further back just outside of the top 20. That referee has no doubt back there.
The racers trying to bypass the slower machine and chase Briscoe, who was damaged from an earlier crash.
Here they come up off of turn number 4.
Nobody giving an inch. It's all take right now. The intensity ratcheting up as we get to where those championship points will be paid off 15 laps from now. That's why they're all positioning themselves towards the front of the field. But only the top 10 pay off points.
The spotters, they're on team or
Kyle Busch just got a big shot. He's going to dart back out in front.
Two Kyles at the front of the field. Two-time Cup Series champions. Two in the bottom lane for Kyle Busch. The defending series champion, the outside lane for Kyle Larson. Neither of them have won the Daytona 500. They lead off turn 2.
They continue to run 2 by 2 by 2.
This is a race that he has struggled to finish with. He's been near the front towards the end, but hasn't been able to seal the deal. He's been able to rally through, put that car anywhere he wants on the racetrack, and he's proven it straight now. Continues to battle for the race lead. He'll drive to the outside of Kyle Busch, didn't even across, right down to that positioning themselves to fill those bumps. You can see them on NASCAR TV when they bob and weave and get out of line. That's from the golf draft down the back straightaway. Keep an eye out here as they come down the back straightaway. Which cars are dancing down the back straightaway? Back up to the highway. for the race lead.
Drag race down the back straightaway. Inside is that number 11 car, Denny Hamlin. Looking for a championship run. That's what the ball could be. It's for the Daytona 500 He's sitting there on that. NASCAR favorite. He decides to retire. But my goodness, he has put into the run right here on the inside. The driver racing number 11. A couple of teammates have been wounded. May not be allowed to go later stages, but he is showing power. And Bravo's out front on the bottom line.
Teammates have not been able to work together as we have seen in past Daytona 500s. You've got different manufacturers up front, all three being Chevrolet, Toyota, and Ford among the top three. But when you look through the row, the inside lane is a Toyota, a Chevrolet, a Toyota, a Ford, and a Toyota. Outside lane, the same problem. Chevrolet, Ford, Chevrolet, no teammates working together so far in the Daytona 500.
Denny Hamlin driving up the inside lane. It's not crazy where we are, but he looks like he's just got the wheel right where he wants it. Not a whole lot of movement for the three-time Daytona 500.
Squeeze his way back in to be 2x2 as it rolled out the back straightaway. Now rolls in the front race lane. Justin Allgaier driving for Daytona to the race lead in the Daytona 500.
To the bottom he goes. The Junior Nations roared when he held the lead the last time he led a lap here. It was a short-lived effort, but look at this run he's got for the bottom of turn number 4.
Jim, you make a good point. The Junior Nation fans here.
Several cars involved in a boom of smoke off the end of the front straightaway. It all started in the trioval with contact between Justin Allgaier and Denny Hamlin. Allgaier into the outside. Several cars involved here off the end of the front straightaway. And the dynamic of the Daytona 500 has just changed completely. 7 laps to go to the end of stage number 2.
I got 15 cars stopped on the apron turn after the pit road exit, the entrance and exit of our road course here. 15 cars were all wadded up in that as others scattered around. Amazing turn of events. Let's look at the replay on our NASCAR TV cameras.
Watch that machine at the bottom of the racetrack. The bright orange number 40 car of Justin Allgaier. It's easy to spot. He had a huge push, got him out front, jumped to the outside lane where Denny Hamlin fastly approached, and as Allgaier went ever so slightly, about a half through off the outside wall, Hamlin stuck it. We're in it, but I think they can explain it.
May have been the difference of clear or not clear on Hamlin.
And look at that replay right there, Joe. You talked about the smoke and how the drivers can't see. You're riding along with Joey Logano, and just like that, all of a sudden, visibility goes from next to none. I don't know how any driver who made it through could even see what they were doing.
These cameras are on the roof. You go down 2 or 3 feet, it's even more difficult to see. On Ross Chastain, who was strong, he got damaged, was able to try to sneak through at the end. You see how bad the damage is on the one as he is already.
Big shot right there for Justin Allgaier on that side.
Ryan continues to be the first car down the bottom. We'll try to get from
Corey Hines, Toyota Camry now pulls even with Bubba Wallace. Those two 23. Corey Hines, the 2025 NASCAR Class 4 Truck
I believe the win of the Daytona 500 might enable him to schedule a couple more starts as well, but he's got a handful of his teammate right now.
2311 Toyota is at the front of the field. Kind to the inside of the wall. Second to him up the back straightaway with the entire field lined up behind him.
As a matter of fact, 2311, the Clouds point have cars amongst the top four. Three of those four are 2311 Toyota. The corner, Bubba Wallace using the middle lane. Corey Hines.
Christopher Bell takes it 3 wide to the outside. That's a 3-wide battle for third position. Right behind him comes
Lane will get into build some momentum off of turn number 2 outside the top 5 on the way to go. And they challenge for the lead.
Christopher Bell, 3 wide with Josh Berry and Chase Elliott for the 5th position. Up front, though, it's still double wide for the race. Off the corner, Bubba Wallace.
He's up into a 3-wide battle for second place. High on the line, Busher in the middle. Bell on top pole, chasing
Customer Ryan Cruz, Ross Chastain, all in that third lane, highest on the speedway. Here comes Christopher Bell, who leads that lane.
Three wide for the race lead here at the Daytona 500. Corey Hines leading the first lane on the bottom. Bubba Wallace in the middle. Christopher Bell up top still. Corey Hines inching out now. It levels out to the
Corey Hines trying to battle back and fill that hole. 3 wide, 5 rows deep. The battle for the lead of Sherman.
Things had settled down to 2 wide racing for a few laps following the restart, but here we go again. 3 wide at the front of the field. Corey Hines on the inside. Bubba Wallace
And for the drivers that are behind those 3 up high, Wallace and Bell, there's literally nowhere to go. All 3 usable lanes here in Daytona remain blocked off. 3 wide, 6 rows deep as they come to the line. It is Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell.
It's like rush hour on the Jersey Turnpike, only at 190 miles an hour. Nose to tail,
outside lane in that second row as they are 3 wide behind the leaders. In the middle, Chris Buescher. On the bottom is Riley Herbst. He gets a shot from Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott's got nowhere to go. As I mentioned a lap ago, he is a car length behind Riley Herbst, second in line behind the driver on the bottom lane.
Everybody stacked up 3 wide at the front of the field, 6 rows deep.
spectacular competition here at the World Center of Racing. 3 deep, all the way around, lap after lap after lap. Corey Hines,
Top 21 cars racing. Inside, middle, and outside. That's the front row as they race on
That is the second row. The third row has 3 wide. Hamilton leap out in front and lead coming out of
Nobody willing to quit as round and round they go. 3 deep, high on the bottom. In the middle of the walls. To the side, Christopher Bell.
Continues to lead off of turn number 2, 3 wide. This is about the fourth time
Christopher Bell by maybe a bumper into turn number 3. Now Bubba Wallace shoots out to the lane. As soon as I say that, though, here comes Corey Heim. All 3 of these lanes remaining even.
They do, and it's just spilling up off of turn number 4. Coming back down to turn number 4. Everybody else racing for scraps.
See how long it lasts. They're down to 2 abreast, but Christopher Bell, who's fallen back just a car length in that 3-wide lane, trying to battle back up and challenge the lead yet again.
Continuing to remain committed to that outside lane. Bell has got Cole Custer, Ryan Priest, Ross Chastain, and Cody Ware. The first 5
humans doing superhuman things.
Great competition all through the field. The trio of Toyotas, 1, 2, 3, and they go middle, bottom, and top. 3 wide on turn 2. Driving this close, side by side, 3 wide for so long is meant to be. Just 55 laps next time. The intensity is there. The race back into turn 3.
That's the intensity. Look at the milking hole it takes to stay 3 wide. As long as we have in this race. There's cars completely surrounding everybody but the lead 3. And we continue to run this way. It takes a lot to stay focused on this effort and do the will to put it
Sixth, the defending NASCAR Craftsman, the Truck Series champion from a year ago. He is mixing it up at the front of the field now with the advantage coming off turn 2. We're talking about Corey Heim, who's that Leon 67 down to the inside lane of the racetrack. He leads down the back straightaway here. He takes the Truck Series last year. As Nathan said, did not have a full-time opportunity. He's running part-time in the Cup Series, and he's making the most of it here today.
So the cameras are out front. Could that be the team combination that's working? They're out they can see the wire at some point. They have not shown their strength as a manufacturer yet.
Today be the day he gets his first career Cup Series point victory as he won the class to start the season.
He runs the outside lane, room 3. In the qualifying event here Thursday night, he won the majority of the first race before getting involved in an incident in the late going, and was the fastest car in practice here yesterday. The 60 of Priest in the outside lane has been cautious all day. He's been at the back of the pack, and now with the finishing second.
Today's broadcast is presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com.
Let's check in at the Admin Healthcare Center with Brad Kelly.
Justin Allgaier is out at the Infield Care Center.
Super fast. 40 Traveler Whiskey Chevrolet today. I hated that I'm standing here talking to you and not still out there, but really proud of this team. Everybody enjoyed
watch and listen to the rest of this race from the sideline.
You know, here at 2026, one of the big changes is the way we determine our champion. We got the chase format. What is new again in the sport of NASCAR racing? That means points. Precious no matter how you get it.
Regular season, there is still a benefit to finishing better in regular season points. It's not just the top 16 resetting. You still have layers of, there's 100 points between those 16 positions. It makes every point matter. Being out here getting it, just it makes
Continues to be the Toyota teammates of Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, and Corey Heim, all the Pied Pipers of this field.
Mike, I never thought 3 wide at 185 miles an hour would start to seem ordinary, but they've done it so many times in a row now, it's starting to seem that way.
Lap after lap, 3 wide, 7 miles through the field.
That is the top 3 cars in the first row of 3 wide action. The second row has got Riley Herbst, Chris Buescher, and Cole Custer. Row 3, Priest, Berry, and Hamlin.
Tremendous skill on display on the sports base stage. Showing he can get the job done.
Round and round they go. Heim on the bottom. Bubba Wallace in the middle. Christopher Bell on the high side. Everybody else drumming their fingers on the steering wheel saying, somebody let's go.
Including Riley Herbst, second car in line on the bottom. Chris Buescher, second car in the middle. Then Cole Custer, second car in the
All it's going to take is one of those drivers a day for reference to get a little bit more antsy and start pushing one of these drivers in front of them. That will shake up this pack for the moment, though. Everybody continuing.
Incredible racing at Daytona International Speedway to take advantage. So when does the window open and what's the drop dead lap if you've got to come for fuel?
So as I look at it right now, if you came for fuel right now, you could save fuel and make it to the end. If you get another, say, 6 to 7 laps in, you can come and top off with fuel and run hard to the end. And with the way that the car is right now, nothing in the tank at this pace. It becomes a wide open strategy for all the makers. So down there, we saw the Toyotas at Talladega a couple years ago. They didn't like this. They decided to peel off in about 6 laps. Came and got fuel and ran hard to force the pace of
Alright, everybody.
the play would be when the window comes open for you to go wide open to the end of the race, to then strategize yourself to come to pit road, top off with fuel, put tires on it, and go hard from there. You just have to have enough running mates. I feel like that number's probably
3/4 of the field landlocked right now in 3 wide racing. Corey Heim, Bubba Wallace, and Christopher Bell leading each of those lanes with now 46 laps to go.
And a big strategy play here for these teams. They try laps to go.
Chevrolet's, that's number 31, not Zach Martinez, switched to Chevrolet this year. Cole Custer
loads of pit stops, and that's why they're running the way they are right now. 3 by 3 by 3. Everybody holding their cards close to the vest because if you can control
himself and the car behind him, but then they're losing ground on the outside lane.
They race off turn number 4 back to the trial as we turn down.
Being scored in the 21st spot is Joey Logano. Is 30th.
31st is Michael McDowell. Shane Van Gisbergen is 32nd, with Casey Mears 33rd, Austin Cindric 34th, and Connor Zilic 35th. Chase Briscoe is 36th. Justin Allgaier is now in 37th. So is
laps to go, or complete 42 to go here in the Daytona 500. That's station identification on Motor Racing Network.
This is WS 25 is Chevy.
Alongside is Mike Bagley and Todd Gordon out in turns 1 and 2. Of course, today is Dave Mooney on the Daytona Super Stretch. Is Kyle Rickey over to turns 3 and 4 is Tim Catalfamo at the exit of pit road is Steve Post covering the midsection for us today on the pit lane. That's Chris Moore at the entrance to pit road and covering the
laps to go in the Daytona 500, and everybody's got to make one final pit stop. Has gotten out in front. It was Christopher Bell falling back and just
stay that way in turn 1.
How tight is it? Well, the last time he did the full field rundown, Christopher Bell was in the lead at the start-finish line. By the time they got to me, he was 5th. By the time they got to the end of the back stretch, he was 2nd.
Looked like he was going to fade just a bit there. About 2 laps ago, Christopher Bell in the entire outside lane. This time,
and Christopher Bell pretty much with this entire pack all stacked up.
Back off turn number 4 they go. considered and doing both.
Get much out of them. They have very intense debriefs, and there is a manufacturer strategy and team strategy going on right now. So really tough to get answers down there. I think we'll see that conversation. The process picked up. Those guys are getting closer and closer to the team. And most of the drivers like Ryan Preece are starting to talk about letting the inside. Guys like Richard Christopher Bell, they might have thought about that as well. And I think we're getting close. But boy, the pit stop when we do them by manufacturer is a tightly guarded secret. Chris Willard, do you have any insight into that?
Yeah, it's a tough situation, Steve Post, like you mentioned. Everybody pretty tight to this. He said we're better than those behind us by a pretty good margin, but we're not as good as those ahead of us. Excuse me, we're better than those ahead of us, but not as good than those behind us. So they feel like that those, basically the mid-pack on back, have saved a lot more fuel than what Chase Elliott and the leaders have had, although the leaders like the Walls have been setting the pace. Listening to the Walls radio, the starting to turn up on the Toyota, so I think we're closing in on the window. I would expect no later than lap 180 we may see cars start to dip on down. But again, it's all about the communication now. A lot of spotters starting to talk between themselves and start to get organized.
One thing they're talking about is actually where they're going to position Tyler on the racetrack. Right now, he's running in the middle lane, but they're expecting the bottom lane to actually disperse a little bit. And even told Tyler if there's an option going to the top side, he can do that just to avoid some of the people clearing off. That tells me that he intends on going just a little bit longer than everyone else, and that's the bigger story that I'm able to gather from my end of the road.
32 laps to go in the Great American Race.
Here comes the pack thundering off turn number 4. Light cars directly ahead. Austin Dillon.
Teammates and your manufacturers, because you don't want to come down pit road on your own. We talked about that early on in the Daytona 500. You want friends, and you want to be able to draft at full speed once you come back off pit road.
You also want to be on the inside lane for the Alfred Wall pit road. Position by Christian Bell a few laps ago. I think starting that dictation. The pace has picked up a little bit here. Bell's on the inside. Bell has control of this race up front, but he needs to get down to the bottom in front of Busch, in front of the pack. Of course, Buescher in the mix over the 4. Buescher's stuck in the middle, so it's a matter of if you come, you better be able to get down to pit road and work it out with your spotter. So they come in too wide. Doug Balloon for everybody. This inside the road.
It's Cole Custer in the 41 machine for Haas Factory Team, a Chevrolet in the outside lane of the racetrack. He was near the front at the end of the Daytona 500 last year, and he's back there again. Behind him, Ryan Preece is trying to push him forward in the class last night up. They are neck and neck down the back straightaway, but continuing to gather things up and get ready for that final pit stop of the day.
Racing that purple Utah's car on the outside. Row 2 has a teammate to his left shoulder. The orange and black body card for it. That's Chris Buescher. They're both Roush Fenwick Kozlowski Racing teammates. So we'll see how that plays out if they want to play nice. Buescher was not able to clear
Continues to challenge for the race win.
In NASCAR history, weighing in the balance is right side of 30 laps to go in the 68th running of the Daytona 500. The field storms down the back straightaway still in rows of 3 as they make their way back
Grayson is 10th, and there is one final pit stop that needs to take place. The question is, when is that pit stop coming? And if you're in that outside lane or that middle lane, good luck getting down to come to pit road for that final stop.
Yeah, I feel like this final pit stop's going to come in the next 10 minutes.
It's also going to see some unlikely bedfellows when they happen, because we see a mix of Toyotas, have a couple of 2 or 3 Toyotas here, then maybe a couple of Chevrolets. We've seen in the past, it's also coming after Korea and go with.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll have to figure that one out. I feel like you've got at least a group chat working. These teams will talk within their teams and within their OEMs and have a communication about where we can get to. Crew chief, where they can get to. We'll have to see how they peel off. But yes, I do think that there will be some opportunities for some unlikely bedfellows.
Somebody has slipped the switch. The lights are on here at the World Series.
Making the most of that middle lane. However, when he reaches
was running in the middle of that.
Starting to see some pit crews limbering up, doing some forcing.
Position number 4 right now. Cole Custer has
several laps of this stint. I don't think that's going to be the case for the remainder of the race.
Here they come. Everybody stays on.
Cole Custer begins that 3-wide run again.
close enough for Cole Custer to build that momentum off of turn number 2.
Busher and Custer in that first row of three wide racing.
Wallace out in front all by himself at the bottom of the racetrack.
The Senate tipped on their way around. Three wide right now. Waiting for the call on pit road.
Wallace was off by himself in the front of the field. He got to go. That is not the case this time. Here's Chris Busher with his outside.
Seems like the pack has picked the pace up the last few laps ever so slightly. Busher with drafting help from two Fords behind him in the form of Barry and Gregson.
And they keep picking up the pace a little bit more.
Stay tuned to hear from today's winner and others when NASCAR
Everybody trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack and align themselves with who they're going to pit with. There's green flag pit stops.
drivers putting their hands out the window, signifying to the driver behind them that they are coming down pit road. Here comes four Toyotas off the racetrack.
Field works their way off turn number 4. Looks like the entire lead track is going to stay.
Instead of one, we think they got
driving a moment ago, is exiting turn 2. So the Hardy's caution flies with 9 laps to go.